Om Shanti. Just before we start, if anyone has lost their FM radio, it's here, and we'll put it by the steps. Someone might be needing it now. So welcome to this afternoon's session. A chance to go through some questions and listen to wonderful, entertaining, and deep answers from three of our RCOs, who now I think are no longer called RCOs, correct?
RCs.
RCs. I don't know if I want to get into what's the...
Regional coordinators. RCO is Regional Coordinating Office. So we are not office, we are RCs.
Coordinators. I hope this is an indication of the depth that we're going to be exploring this evening. But I was personally so enthusiastic about this session and the chance to pick out the details of Baba's Murlis up to now in this season, and compiling the list and talking to all of you and gathering questions from you, that I actually forgot to sit down and make sure that I knew how to give a proper introduction to each one of the RCs. So I hope it's going to work for me to wing it a little bit. And I also imagine that most of you know these world-famous RCs by now, but just in case you don't, I'm starting with my extreme right, Sister Jayanti, who oversees all the activities for Baba's work in Europe and the Middle East. Is that correct, Sister Jayanti? Okay, that's one down. And if I'm not mistaken, Sister Jayanti, you're celebrating your 40th year in Gyan now. That's the first time I've gotten that right. In the past years, I've always missed it by many years, and I've had to be corrected. So this is finally catching up with me. And then we have Didi Nirmala, who oversees all of Baba's activities in Australia and Asia Pacific. And Didi Nirmala, are you now heading toward 45? 45. And so then it's Didi Sudesh on my first right, who I think is most senior. Are you celebrating your 50th? 51. So do you realize altogether how many that makes? 80, 110, 20, 130 years worth of experiences with Baba, correct? 80 plus 50? 1. So I think it's a good way to start by giving them a round of applause just for being who they are. Can we have a mic for Sister Jayanti?
And the Europe and Middle East region is actually a shared responsibility with Sudesh Pen and myself.
Thank you. I was just going to add that. And currently Sudesh Didi is stationed in Germany. I have a few questions regarding Gyan and things that Baba has drawn our attention to. I'm not necessarily going to be asking each one of you to answer the same question. We'll kind of move it around. But I'm hoping that you feel free, if you have something that you'd like to share, to add to whatever anybody else has said if they were the ones who answered the question. So just to start off, what realization or experience do I need to aim for in order to be able to finish fear? And many of us might not even realize that fear is an influence operating from behind the scenes and producing different reactions and emotions or stuckness in our Brahman journey. So you might want to comment on that as well. What are the signs that actually I'm still being manipulated by fear? And what is the realization or experience I need to aim for to be able to finish it? Didi Nirmala, would you like to answer that?
I think what best we need to have is faith in Baba and ourselves, because fear is a sense of either attachment or insecurity. So if I have this faith and or awareness, I'm Shiva Shakti, nobody can do me anything, because we have fear of either losing something, being attacked, fear of death, all sorts of fear can be there. And once I have this awareness that I am doing best to my ability, so I should not have that fear of losing face or losing my possessions, because we have imperishable possessions. So as much as I become Jnana Yukta and Yoga Yukta, I won't have any fear. And also if I have this awareness, I am under canopy of Bap-Dada, then Baba is there to protect me, help me, provided I am following Baba's direction. Baba guarantees that I will help you. So that's what I had to do, is to do whatever Baba is guiding me to do, and be for Baba, do everything for Baba, and keep Bap Dada combined with me.
Mm-hmm. I have a list of actually the same, I'm posing the same kind of question to a variety of aspects. So for example, to continue, Sudesh Didi, what about this one? What realization or experience do I need to aim for to finishize a criticizing intellect?
First, I would like to add this finishing fear. Mm-hmm. When this is apart from this, what Nirmala Didi said, where there is truth, there is no fear. Even a little bit of mixture is a fear of what? Fear from others. And intoxication, that who do I belong to, means I am very fortunate. This inner intoxication keeps beyond the influences of other things. And truth, as well as the truth in communication, truth in relationship, truth in the real aspect of soul consciousness, removes any type of fear. Because then the knowledge is working. If I leave the body, no problem, another body is waiting for me. It's a change of dress and address. Right? I change this dress, I change the address, new role I will play. So then soul consciousness and truth intoxication is the realization that through this the fear is conquered. And the other aspect, that is this criticizing, this realization, it's my expectations from others, that expectations of others are not fulfilled, and then we say, this is why it is not done, why, what, where, how comes with this. And ego, because I can do better. Then we begin to find fault in others. And so when I have the nature of appreciation, there is not any kind of criticism then naturally heart is open and compassion, love comes blessings from the heart come. So criticism is comparison. Either I compare with myself or I compare that task that others have done with others. So this aspect it helps to be free from.
Sister Jayanti, did you want to add to either of these two?
Just to continue with the subject of fear, because I think in a way the world is getting more and more fearful. We're living in a world where anything can happen, and so it's infectious, so I can be very easily affected. But continuing with what my sisters have said, where I know that I'm following Srimad, then I know I have Baba's canopy of protection. And of course, where I know my heart, my conscience tells me that I've moved a little bit outside the line of Srimad, then there's the margin of fear to come in. And so if there's fear, then let me see, well, where is it that I've stepped away, and quickly repair that and come back in, so that then that canopy of protection stays with me. And really, where there is Srimad, there is no margin for fear.
Thank you. Any other signs that we are actually being subtly manipulated by our own fears?
A lot has come in the answers that have been given, but also where I want something, I have desires, and so it's connected a little bit with what I have might be taken away, that insecurity, but also the insecurity of wanting something. And so there's the fear, will it happen, will it not happen? And so I think that a lot is that motivation. There's things that I desire, that I seek, and really if I come back to what Baba has given me already, why should I want anything more than what Baba has given? There's multi-million fortune already, but where my mind has gone out of that awareness and there's desires, then there's the fear, well, how's it going to happen?
It's interesting to think that that frame of mind, having desires, is the companion of fear and an indication of fear. Anything else about the criticizing intellect? Otherwise, what realization or experience do I need to aim for to develop more compassion?
I see compassion as being very much linked with humility, and lack of compassion related to hardness and the ego, in which I'm only self-centered, not soul-conscious, but self-centered, in which I'm not concerned or bothered about anybody else. And so where there's a humility, there's that gentleness of soul consciousness, then my heart can be open, and there's the empathy with others and a feeling of wanting to reach out and give them some support and help. And also just simply to remember the mistakes that I've made, in the sense that, it's easy to forget what I've done and just point a finger at somebody else, and so not have compassion for them. But wherever it is I've come, it's been a journey. And it hasn't been a straight journey that's been up, 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 up. It's been a journey that's probably gone through hills and valleys and peaks. And so let me be aware of what I've been through. When Baba was talking about becoming experienced souls. And on the one side, there's the development of experiences in yoga and the power of that. But on the other side, just the experience that I've had in going through all the things that I've had to deal with that's brought me this far. And so then to see others with that awareness, well, they're going through exactly the same things that I've been through. And so my heart can reach out to them and understand and help them in that situation.
Thank you. Didi Nirmala or Didi Sudash? Anything to add regarding developing a realization or an experience which will help me develop compassion?
I would add to that if I have love for people, then naturally for their weaknesses I will have compassion rather than having criticism or negative feeling. So love and benevolent attitude. Because if I have awareness that I have to bring benefit to everybody, so naturally the weak ones or those who are vicious or negative, I have compassion for them because I think I can help them with Baba's help. So that will help me in having that compassion for other people.
I wanted to ask about that because at one point in my Brahman journey, it seemed to me like I completely stopped loving people altogether. And I don't know if it's because I really stopped loving people at that point, or I realized how much no love I'd had up until that point. So how do you turn that on? Did you always have love for people, or did you find you had to do something in your Jnani life to open that?
I myself had deep love for people, and that's what I wanted to serve them. But what happens is sometimes our negative experience with people, or family especially, I find if our family or friends or people who come across have been nasty and negative and doing harm in a mental or physical way, people develop that no love or sometimes hatred for people or that relationship. And that's where we have to really have so much receiving love from Baba. Main thing, if I receive love from Baba, if I love myself, then I'll start loving others. But if anything is missing, if I haven't got deep connection with Baba, I'm not receiving love. I can't be giving love. And also, I think last 2 days, Dadi also is emphasizing forget past. Because sometimes we are holding it to past negative experience with people. And naturally, when we are holding those past negative experience, we are not able to be positive or loving or giving. We really want to take revenge rather than to help people. And that's where we need to really learn to forget past, forgive what other people have done to us, and realizing that must be my karma. If they have been negative to me, must be my karma, finished karma. So I should be light and happy and positive, then I will be loving to people.
Thank you. And I wonder, Sudesh Didi, if you could elaborate a bit on that too? Especially forgetting the past, forgiving.
When I realize that this situation that has come in front of me of negative exchange or reactions from others, I have to, what it is that I need to learn to use my specialities. Because somewhere I have been careless and I don't let go of the weakness of them. So in this consciousness, instead of expectations, it is mercy that I want to give, not that I want to take from anything. And why this person is not doing, this is what the situation is. I have to accept them as they are. Just like when a doctor is there, so he knows this is what the sickness is, this is what the situation is. And so if we generally, we are not so compassionate when we see that they are like on a borderline, like sick, their reaction suddenly comes like this, or they have their ego or whatever. So we cannot open our heart for them because they think that they are not going to understand this. But in fact, where this is the opportunity for me to give help, because I am Baba's helper and I am healer. In this aspect, let go, have mercy, and using my qualities, seeing their specialities. I can use my mercy and quality of love when I see what specialities they have. And generally, the people, those we have conflict with is, one thing is important, that one weakness in me is there which they are specialist. Their quality, my weakness would be speciality of them. If I am careless, they are very careful. If I'm lazy, lucky go happy, don't want to take the responsibility, others will be very hard worker. They would be very careful to support any time, ever ready. Their specialities would be this. So these people are heart people also. So why should I close my heart? Because they also want love. This is why, because their expectations is that I want to give them something, so they are forcing me to get something from me. And so with this feeling that they are needy people. And so Baba has given me so much, so I want to give to others. Why not to give to those who are asking for money? So in this way, it is the feeling of love, mercy, compassion, and love in a real way of seeing their specialities.
It's especially interesting to think of this shift being an ingredient. I'm in there up until that point as a taker, and then to make this shift in the name of mercy and realize it's an opportunity to be giving. What about the feeling of being under pressure? What realization or experience do I need to aim for in order to be able to finish this feeling of being under pressure? And, for example, not being able to be with people like I feel I should be and need to be. Didi Nirmala?
Nowadays, Baba is emphasizing a lot on giving up I and mine. Because especially when we are on Baba's service, pressure usually comes in service, and especially those who are instruments, because they have Lockic job, alaukic responsibility, family responsibility. So that's where it comes, my responsibility. And if that awareness is there that I'm instrument, Baba is Karan Karavan Har, then I won't feel pressure. And also, if I'm having a balance, to see that I'm balancing my health, my body and soul, my responsibility to others and self, then naturally I won't be under pressure. Mainly we need to use the discerning power and see what I had to do, when I had to do, and rather than thinking I had to do it now, I had to do the best, because that has been, we are putting pressure on ourselves, it's not somebody else is putting pressure. And that's where I need to really look at why I feel so heavy or pressure or whatever it is, because if I have this awareness, Baba, my Baba, and these are all Baba's children, this is Baba's task, then naturally I won't feel pressure.
It's an interesting point that I'm putting pressure on myself. And we can ask ourselves, why am I doing that? Sister Jayanti, did you want to add anything to this? I remember you as somebody who was terrifyingly busy and under pressure. And you still are terrifyingly busy and under pressure, like all of our RCs are. But it feels like over the years there's been a change in how you relate to all of that pressure. Can you share something?
It's a little bit like what Dr. Nirmala is saying, in a sense that two things really, it's Baba's task, and so all you can do is the best that you can, and nothing more than that. But also that if I can't manage to do something today, there's tomorrow, and it'll get done tomorrow. It doesn't have to be done by midnight tonight. I can finish by 10 o'clock, and it'll stay till tomorrow. Nobody's going to die. If somebody is going to die, let me do it. But I've had to learn to make sure that I get my priorities sorted out, and not just because there's a bunch of emails waiting for me that I think that I have to deal with it now. I've come to the point where I can let them sit there and look at them and say, it's okay, they'll wait. And so I think, yes, you have to be a little bit gentle on yourself and not hard on yourself, and just remember that Baba's in charge. I want to take us back a couple of steps to the forgiveness subject, because another aspect of all of this is, well, if there's lack of forgiveness, what is it doing to me? And it's really poison. And I can't say that I can't forgive this one, but my heart is full of love for everyone else, because that one drop of poison is going to spoil all the nectar, and it's going to impact the quality of my relationships and interactions with everyone else. There's a very powerful soul who's not here now, but he said to Dadi at one point, after he'd been gyan about 5-6 years, he said, Dadi, when I came to Baba, there were 3 people that had given me a very, very hard time in my life. And you told me I have to learn to forgive them. And now I've learned to forgive 2 of them. But the 3rd one, that's a big one. And I don't think I'm ever going to be able to manage that. And Dadi then explained to that soul, a very intelligent person, but she explained to that individual that if I have lack of forgiveness in my heart, then there's lots of blockages that I've created within myself. And whatever that person has done, they've done. That's their karma. That's their responsibility, and God is going to sort it out. I don't have to think about that. But if I don't forgive, it's really going to be a pain that I carry with myself. And so it's going to be there burdening me all the time. And so to let go of something means to be free. And so letting go of whatever are the stories of the past means giving it away. And giving is then forgiving. And I'm then going to become free. So I'm not doing another person a favor by forgiving them. I'm doing myself a favor. This is mercy on myself, to be able to clean myself and let go, so that I can be open to receive everything that Baba wants to give me. But also, I love the point that Baba made the other day, that if you want to have yoga, if you want your mind and intellect to be concentrated and focused so that you can start experiencing the power of silence, you have to have a heart that's very, very clean. Your mind and intellect has to be very pure. And so any other feelings, and lack of forgiveness is not a very good feeling. And so if I'm carrying all those feelings with myself, I'm damaging myself. My yoga is being affected. And so the sooner I realize this, and the sooner I let go and let Baba, with Baba's love, I don't think I can just let go and say, now I'm free. But there's, within the process of forgiving, there's also a healing that has to happen within myself, because obviously I'm carrying the pain. And so to take Baba's love and let Baba give me that power to be healed, then I'm free. And so that's another aspect of forgiveness that has helped me enormously, so that I don't hold things and it's gone, finish, move on.
I don't know about you, but this makes about the 5th time that I want to break out in a round of applause. I guess we'll keep holding the applause in between each of the answers, but I'm speaking for all of us. There's a lot of appreciation for the depth which is being covered even just halfway into our interview. So thank you, all of you. And actually, before we take a look at some of these other aspects, it seems to me that this point Baba was making about the clean heart and mind in order to be able to receive all that he's giving, it's so vital. It's the basis of our hope and our future. Didi Nirmala or Didi Sudesh, do you have anything you would like to add in terms of advising us about how to be reaching that clean heart sooner rather than later?
When this feeling that my heart, I have given my heart to Baba, and so Baba cannot sit in my heart if rubbish is there. Even the statues where they are, it remained clean. The place should be clean. And so Baba, then it means there's no place for Baba if the dirt is inside, any kind of. So this aspect, cleanliness is next to godliness. Then is lightness within my own self. If there is any kind of negativity is in my heart, then I am heavy, as just like this realization that this point that I don't forgive other, I am causing harm to my own self. For my own freedom, I want to let go. And any kind of influence is rubbish in my heart, in my my feelings. And I cannot then have good wishes for others, and I cannot have good wishes for my own self. So this is why heart-to-heart conversation will not take place at that time with Baba, because this rubbish has blocked the vision for Baba. And again that person would be coming in front of me. And so it's an obstacle. And I want to be free from this obstacle. I'm destroyer of obstacle. Another one, this aspect of clear. Another thing is it creates, when is any kind of dirt is there, any peace will not be there in me. And here I cannot be at that time I will not be meditating. I cannot catch the inspirations from Baba. So it's not joy of meditation, it's not joy of relationship with Baba. So this is why my own benefit, for my own enjoyment, its benefit. And I would like to add one thing about the pressure, going back. Anything what I enjoy doing, where is pleasure? To take everything, certainly priority is the most important thing, but whatever I am doing, if I am enjoying it, where there is pleasure, there is not a feeling of pressure. Because it's the lightness and joy comes in, which takes away this feeling of tiredness or feeling of pressure or any kind of force. And automatically then cooperation comes from other. When I am enjoying and doing with pleasure, so I involve others to cooperate with me. And so in that way cooperation comes and easiness comes in that.
Didi Nirmala?
So in order to have a clean heart, what we need to do is, because as a human being, we were always looking at others, what they should do, what they should not do, or how they should behave, how they should act with me and all. But now as a Brahman, what Baba is teaching us is, you check yourself, you see yourself as what you should be doing or how you should be acting or reacting. And that's where, as much as I implement that knowledge in my practical life, because Baba is all the time telling, okay, you see yourself in the mirror, Gyan mirror has been given, check yourself what you are thinking, what you are feeling, what you are talking, what you are listening, everything. And so as much as I become jnani soul, naturally I will have to see what I should be doing, not what others should be doing. And that's where, if I'm paying attention to that, then I won't allow any negativity in my heart. And that's what Baba, even in the last Murli, emphasized. Don't allow any negative feelings and negative thought in your mind or intellect or heart. And that's what one needs to be really paying attention to.
Sometimes, because we arrive with a certain amount of negativity already there, this proposition from Baba, hand it over to me, hand your burden over to me, give me your burdens. How exactly does that work? What do we have to do for that? Sister Jayanti, did you want to comment on that?
I'm thinking about a situation that I'm trying to deal with, whether it's a health problem, whether it's a challenging situation with somebody else's sanskars. And there's one level where I think, okay, well, I know what I have to do, let me do this, this and this, and it doesn't work. Then I say, okay, well, let me try this, this and this and this. And then probably at some time, the light bulb comes on, and you say, but you know, there's help available. And you pause, and you sit in silence, and you say to Baba, Baba, I can't do this, but I know you can. And so I'm handing it over to you. I've done the best that I can, but now I want your help to try and resolve this and sort it out. And so in a very practical way, what you find is that you're taking all the power that Baba wants to give you, and you're letting yourself become free from the burden and the pressure, and the light begins to come. It's like the clouds begin to lift, and those vibrations of Baba's love and light and might reach you. And whether it's the body that needs healing, whether it's another soul that needs healing, whatever it is, and Baba's light is able to work. And where I think I can deal with it, the I and my and the ego and the attachment come in. And so Baba's there watching, and I say, okay, let me see how the child manages. Baba hasn't gone away, but he's there, but he's watching. But when I invoke Baba and I invite Baba in, then Baba's able to be active. Otherwise, I'm blocking Baba. And so to hand over to Baba means to invite Baba to become active in my life and to do whatever it is that needs to be done.
Thank you. Sudesh Didi, did you want to add to that? How do we give our burdens to Baba?
Yeah. So Baba has said, use me. So it is just like sometimes Baba says, give your vices to me, give your burden to me. So when other kind of donation is given, it increases. Right? So we do not want to donate vices, it might increase. Right? Why should I donate the vices? But why should I donate the burden actually? It is handing over myself. Means all this burden or weaknesses or the situations I am carrying in me. And when I surrender myself to Baba, I am sitting in lap of Baba. So Baba is then doing himself or giving me power to do it. It's not a question of giving what is around me, what is in me. And so everything, burden or bondage or fear or negativity, is it in me? And so when I am under the sun, the power of this sun will burn this, just like Baba's power will purify me. It is Baba's blessing will work through me. So in Karan Karavanhar, this intoxication, Karan Karavanhar, is working at this time. But in order to increase my fortune, my intoxication, he is using me as well. So then it remains this balance that I take the responsibility but at the same time carefree, that he is making it happen. If it is only he is doing, then I might become careless. But he is giving me ability, experience, my fortune, but I am giving this everything to him. Because he wants to seek, as a teacher, at that time I see, as a teacher he wants to teach me something as well. So if it is feeling difficult, it means I have to learn the art how he should use me. Or Baba is using me when I surrender myself to him as Satguru, as my mother, then he takes care of it. So Karan Karavanhar, I keep different images. One image I always keep, I'm puppet in Baba's hand. And it is puppet does not have to do anything. It's just like it's being, strings are in his hand and I don't have to lift myself. It is he is doing it. So in this way, using Baba with different relationships, using with intoxication, using with faith, using knowledge at that time, and also my responsibility. That Baba wants also to see that I have also developed these qualities as Baba, my teacher. I want to present something to him also.
This kind of inner reality, as I develop it, could that be connected to what is referred to as the power of silence? And if not, what is this power of silence? Baba has said, check how much you're accumulating the power of silence. How do we know that? Or how do we accumulate it? How do we check it? And anything you'd like to elaborate on that subject? Didi Nirmal?
Power of silence will help me to remain light, easy, and all virtuous. Because what happens is, as much as I have that yoga power or silence power, whatever benefits of meditation we are talking about, that would be practical in our life. Being peaceful, loving, sweet, gentle, light, easy, all these things. And so, once I let go of I and mine, because that's what, because we are so much in habit of holding on to everything. We are not even able to let it go and let God do everything, because that's what is happening in our practical life. We know we can hand over all the burden to Baba, but the problem is we are used to hold on to doing myself. So on one hand I had to do something, but on the other hand my mind should have that awareness that let Baba get it done, because it's a really very tricky thing, because theoretically we know Baba has to do everything, Baba is Karavanhar, but practically we are not able to have this awareness that Baba is Karavanhar, and that faith may not be deep, so that's why we are holding on to everything. And that's where, as much as we let it go, there will be that power of silence, and we will be light, easy, and the light thing can fly to subtle regions, soul world very easily. So that intellect will take that power from Baba.
Sister Jayanti, did you want to add?
One of the aspects that I'm developing the power of silence is the ability to remain stable. And so if I've taken that power from Baba, then whatever is going on, but the mind won't get into upheaval. I'll see what's happening, but I'll be able to remain very calm and quiet within. Some of you are Baba's old children, and you must remember when we used to meet Avyakt Bapdada in the meditation hall or in Om Shanti Bhavan, and so it was a much, much closer interaction. How many of you were around for the days of meeting Baba in Om Shanti Bhavan? A good few. Then you remember how sometimes there would be unexpected scenes and somebody would come on stage or, different sorts of... Yes. And Baba would be absolutely unmoved. Others would get into upheaval and Baba would say, well, what happened? Nothing happened. And so it was a marvelous demonstration of Baba's absolute stability. Or even actually in Shantivan, I remember a few years ago, it happened 2 years running, and somebody would find their way onto the stage and rush to Baba. And I think that they just wanted to be close to Baba, but you didn't know what they had in mind. And so there'd be a reaction from people around to try and stop that person. And Baba would be so calm. And in a way that was a demonstration of the power of silence. No matter what's going on, you're totally aware. It's not that you're ignorant and you're unaware, but yet you have the capacity to be stable in your own state of truth, of reality, of love, of peace, of purity. And so the image of the power of silence brings that to mind, the state that's absolutely unshakable. And the second aspect for me would be the manifestation of all the different aspects of the powers that Baba tells us about. The power to go inside, to withdraw, the power to pack up, the power to tolerate. I don't want to go through the list of 8 powers, you know them and you teach them. But the power of silence means that you've got all of these things, and so in a moment you're able to be completely still. You've used all these powers to deal with situations in your life. I'll give an example. Say, for example, here's 3 people, 4 people, 2 people, and we're not able to cooperate together. One is saying this thing, the other one is saying this thing, and we think, but why doesn't she understand? And so there's this little sort of tension there. Well, I try and sit in yoga then. It's going to take me a few minutes to come to silence, let alone start accumulating the power of silence. And so where I have the power of silence, I've made sure that my link with Baba has given me that power, then yeah, okay, your idea, it's fine. Let me follow your idea. It doesn't have to be my idea. So the ease and smoothness of cooperation, or the power of discernment, or the power of decision-making, all of these things are very practically there. And so we're developing the power of silence, and it's being manifest in very practical ways in our life.
Thank you. Dini?
As Baba has, the power of silence is the more is attention and soul consciousness, and that means practice of these 3 dots. I, the soul, my original nature is peace, and at that time being in the world of silence, reminding myself to go beyond sound, because it is the sound and the situations, what I see with my sense organs, are creating the question, inner talk. Maybe I might be with my mouth silent, but inside, why, what, where, what is happening. So again and again, when this situation comes, detached observer of the drama. It is real, it is happening. I also took this a lot from Baba's, Avyakt Bapdada's practical demonstration. So much is happening, so much noise is happening on the stage itself. Baba is giving Toli or our meeting, children are meeting, he is talking, but behind and nearby him is also so much activity taking place. And he's just like beyond this. Exactly, so concentration is there. So it is power of concentration comes through this detachment. A dot, isn't this, everything is filled in it. So with detached observer, being connected with Baba and being soul conscious. So again and again, it is just like in this way we are able to collect the power to be free from why and what, apart from all those things.
There are two other aspects I wanted to get into before asking a few questions just about your own personal journeys. So let's see if we can just touch on them a little bit at least, because Baba speaks so much about them. One of them is determination, the concept of determination. So what realization or experience do I need to aim for in order to be able to increase my determination? And if you have any good definitions of determination, that could be interesting for us too. Sister Jayanti?
Motivation. If you're motivated to do something, nobody is going to budge you from it. And other people might be complaining, but you're stuck with it. And so, in a way, that's determination. But it's very deeply connected with, but what is it that I really want? And if I'm motivated for something, that's it. I'm not going to budge from there. So that's determination for me.
Thank you. Didi Nirmala?
I think if somebody has goal in front of them, and naturally, if they want something, you need to have determination. You can't attain anything without determination. And so one has to really understand that unless I have determined aim to transform myself or achieve something, I'm not going to get anything. And that's why power of determination is very essential for our progress, achievement, transformation, everything. Because Baba is changing us from stone intellect to divine intellect, from Shudra to deity. It's a high jump we have to take. And unless we are determined to achieve that, we can't get anywhere. And so power of determination is very essential in Brahman life to reach our goal.
Did you ever find that your determination flagged? And what did you do to revitalize it?
Actually, it has never been
It's never
reduced.
flagged.
Reduced.
Sudesh Didi or Sister Jayanti?
I want to add in this the determination, definition for me, of course, apart from this motivation and the goal, faith, what I am going to achieve, what my goal is. Faith in myself, real faith, that what Baba has given me, faith in Baba, faith in Dharma, faith, it has happened every kalpa and it is going to happen. And so for me as well, this is when, if I have something, destination clear, no matter whatever happens, the enthusiasm, courage, confidence, enthusiasm, and faith, all these together makes it determination, just a stability in myself that nothing can shake. And I don't think that my determination ever, that it would be some test will have come, but it just remain. Intoxication makes me go very easy.
Sister Jayanti?
I was
Yes, for Sudesh Didi too.
I was thinking that when there's been a distraction, then, for example, maybe I've become very focused on service. Maybe it's been a situation with another human being, an individual, for whatever reason. But it's at that moment that I lose consciousness of determination and my goal and so on. And then Baba will help, and maybe it's a murli, maybe it's a signal from Dadi, maybe it's the sorrow, the pain of a situation, and then the third eye will open again, and I'll say, forget it, and I'm just going to do what I need to do and get on with it. And so I see that distractions are the factor that reduce the power of determination.
I think it's 7 o'clock. Can we steal a few more minutes? Possible?
I think it's gone 7.
Because I just feel it's such a treasure. Our seniors are such treasures for us, and it wouldn't feel complete if we didn't have a chance to just hear a little bit more of their own personal journeys. In this sense, you just mentioned signals from Dadi, Sister Jayanti, and I was just wondering, you three have such a close relationship and so many, many years spent with the Dadis. What are the personal inspirations you're taking from the Dadis these days? If you'd like to share that.
I see how Dadiji, Dadi Janki, Dadi Gulzar, and some of you knew Didi and Dadi Chandramani, all of them have just 2 things in their heart, and that is Baba's love and the desire to become karmatit, and the second is to reveal Baba. And really there's absolutely nothing else in their heart except this. And so this is why in their presence we feel such tremendous upliftment. And each one has a different way of expressing it in terms of helping all of us. And with Dadi will explain a lot of gyan and in a lot of detail, because she knows that if you understand something, then that understanding is going to make you shift. And until something is clear in your own understanding, things are not going to shift. And so what I'm taking from the Dadis at this moment is that they're seeing the closeness of time. And yes, Baba's told us for 70 years, soon. But I really see how Baba's emphasizing this a lot, and the age of the Dadis and the situations that we're finding now, it's a very powerful reminder that really it has to be now that I do something.
Didi Nirmala?
You're talking about one Dadi or all Dadis?
I don't know, whichever you choose.
Because each Dadi has been separate and each Dadi has their own speciality from Dadiji. Now her unlimited love and giving everybody feeling of belonging, that was Dadiji's speciality. Dadi Chandramani was really very courageous and was given the title of lioness. Always enthusiastic, intoxicated, courageous, never expecting name, fame, position, respect, etc. So was really very humble. And Dadi Janki, I think she has so much willpower that she has really conquered even nature or bodily health, because many times she was on the brink of leaving the body and everybody was thinking, oh, Dadis will be gone, and she has survived all the Dadis and she is still going with that enthusiasm and intoxication and it's her desire to really serve other people and not think even about herself and not worried about anything. So she doesn't look at the time, she doesn't want anybody to look at the watch when she's giving yarn. She says, don't show me the time. Don't tell me the time is over. So she's like a timeless. And so much enthusiasm. So every Dadi has got their own speciality. Dadi Ratanmohini churning, and she has maintained her health the best. She's still strong and going, doing everything. So every Dadi has their speciality. Dadi Gulzar is also always so much power of silence and so much, not that drishti of love and silence that she can really impress anyone with short lecture and her vibrations.
Siddhashti?
I see the unity amongst Dadis. That's what I have learned. Faith and trust in each other. So much respect for each other. And communication. One goal, just it is, all have just one thought we need to reveal. We are revealing Baba. And when I see Dadi Janki, many things I have learned from. But her every pore of the body, what I feel, the soul and the body, is the embodiment of good wishes. No matter whatever happens, body is made of matter, but I think her body and soul is composed of good wishes. Completely, no matter whatever. And because of this feeling of good wishes and then love for Baba, yajna, so much awareness of how that everybody should be connected with the yajna, supported by yajna, sustenance. I see her as a mother, very good, strong mother, very powerful father, very open heart friend, so much concern now. Incognito help, she will always give just incognito help, whether you have time or not. But she would like to give so much time, just like a friends want to, and seeing, making others also exactly the same, with the same, her seeing their capacity and they should use it. So many things from Dadi's. Dadi Gulzar, embodiment of innocence, purity. And you can see this, with this, her silence power and soul consciousness naturally makes us soul conscious and gives the feeling of closeness to Baba as she is close to Baba. Ratanmani Dadi enthusiasm and service and this, and Chandramani Dadi fearlessness, strength. All these Dadis have everyone, Shantamani Dadi or Nirmal Shanta Dadi, Dadi, Pardadi, everyone so much even alert. Now, for example, now I see Pardadi, she's at the stage where she's also old, 92 years old, but mind is so alert. Baba, Baba, so clear. You know. This is what it is, the purity of their, within their self and relationship with Baba, and free from all other things. That made them instrument, the support and pillars for the yajna.
One last question I wanted to put to all three of you, and that is, you are all three in charge of large numbers of us. You know us. You have raised us, so to speak, or at least assisted in Baba's raising of us. And so just to kind of finish up this evening, if maybe you wanted to take a few seconds and think about what main advice you would give us at this point in time, seeing our journey, our efforts, seeing what yours has been, a piece of advice from each one of you for us.
I think that if we see ourselves in the way that Baba sees us and keep that state of dignity and self-esteem high, then many other things fall into place, and really not significant at all. And so see yourself as Baba sees you.
Thank you.
I would say that the Baba is asking us to increase the power of silence. So my suggestion is to be Jnani and Yogi, so that each situation is dealt with Jnana and Yoga, and not let past sanskars interfere in our progress.
And what the feeling, or what advice for myself and for everyone, Baba has fulfilled our wishes, and now we are Baba's worthy children, we are heir children. We need to fulfill his wish, because every parent wants to see, this is one wish that Baba doesn't have any expectations of us, but has wish, which is my wish and his wish, so that I glorify Baba through this determination. I belong to him, and I want to make others belong to him.
Thank you. With the remaining time, I imagine it would be good to take drishti from our seniors, spend the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes in silence. Is that correct? Anybody want to say anything? Okay. Microphone for Sister Jayanti.
Just a thank you to Sharona for having created all the questions that were probably the things that were in your heart. So thank you.